podcast. Jebuth. Simplicity, straightforwardness, being in the present, be here now. You are only where you're at. The taking away of complexities, the one-upping on the life you are already living. You can get further along in anything you're doing by becoming simple with whatever roundabout you are to get there, and being straightforward with yourself and others while just being in the moment. We are only in the moment. Once the moment passes, you are not in the moment. And once you can get to that, that's truly living, which is also being simple, which is also being straightforward because you're in the now, being here now. Booyah, life hack. Naomi Osaka was fined 15 grand for not talking to the media at the French Open, which I get. She's got depression. They made a big ordeal out of it, and she said deuces. She bailed out, which I think is even cooler because you never see these type of athletes just say, hey, I'm not going to partake in your BS. So she paid her fine. She was out. More power to her. Hope she gets better and can work with herself and still kick ass at her sport, rock and roll. Do people become jaded after they've been hurt, after they've given trust? Obviously, I think that's the common denominator. You give trust, you get hurt. You are very seldom to give trust again in the future. So trust those who you trust. Maybe build more trust, but you have to let down your guard to get those trusts hurt or to gain the trust. So it's this crazy game of back and forth, ping pong, ba, 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 ba. China says you can now have 3 kids. I thought it was only 1. I guess it's been 2 for a while. As of today, you can have 3. I know like when it was 1, it was like the big thing was they only wanted boys and they were like, you know, selling off the girls and stuff, which is just insane to me. But I didn't even know until today that they could have 2, but now they can have 3. So I know for sure lovemaking's going on tonight in the billion-person population. Bam! I've been making beats. I've been trying to make a beat a day on my days off. Really enjoying the process. The articulation of the sound and the frequencies in which I create them and layer them. And trying to be a musician with no formal training is insanity because you never know if you're doing it right. You assume you are, you want to be, and you're trying your hardest to do your best. And you put it out and, you know, hopefully people get it or they don't, or you go a whole life with a ton of library editions and nobody ever listening to them. And then maybe when you're gone, they will. And I think that's what happens to a lot of great people. But I'm not saying I'm great. I just really enjoy making beats. Just finished watching Modern Romance, a film starring and directed by Albert Brooks. Super dope. Never knew it existed. It's from like 1981. It's like a rom-com, super hilarious. I would highly suggest peeping it out because I didn't know it existed, and now I'm like a huge Albert Brooks fan ever since I saw that movie Scout, which he's just in, and he's in tons of stuff, but like I just didn't realize how funny he was. And dude, Modern Romance is a classic. I watched The Burbs. Haven't seen that in forever. Actually, I don't think I've ever really seen the whole thing. I remember on like Channel 5 when I was a kid, and they'd always cut it up. Never really sat through it all, but classic, must watch. Super beautiful on this, so I would check it out. The Burbs. This movie right here is really dope. It's a sleeper. It's called Jexi. Had no idea it existed. This fool, Adam Devine, is the funniest human being on earth. One of them. It's about like this virtual reality cell phone AI that comes to life. Also watched a film by Jack Hill, Switchblade Sisters. This is next level. I remember it when it was on VHS. I don't think I saw it all the way through, but this is beautiful Blu-ray and classic story of like gangs. Jack Hill, you know, he did Foxy Brown. Switchblade Sisters, highly recommended. Also, this week watched The Killer Elite, starring James Caan and Robert Duvall. Sleeper, never heard of. It's good. I mean, look at the cast. It's weird because it's rated PG, but they show breasts, which I guess was 1975 PG. I'm not complaining. Also finished last night Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan, which is just warping your brain. I didn't understand it. I'm going to have to watch it a million times. I realized that the reason I like Christopher Nolan is because his movies I have to watch more than once. The Following, Memento is one of my favorites. Interstellar, The Prestige. What else? I have it over here. What is it? I was just looking at it. Oh, Inception. It's super dope too. But all these things are like, his theme is time and time travel, which I love because of Back to the Future, and you make the wrong mistake and your picture changes, and he tiptoes around that very beautifully in this movie. But I'm gonna have to watch it again. It's really good. Crazy sounding scenery type things. I don't know. He's got some music soundtrack going on, which is dope, but totally abstract. Stay amazing. Read more books. Podcast. Jebuth.